Hey guys, this is Justin, and before I do get started, I wanted to thank you guys for making me a part of your day. In this video, it's going to be a really quick lesson, kind of probably a 10-minute math lesson on adding and subtracting positive and negative integers. So let's go ahead and write the title right here. I'm just going to show you a few mistakes: adding, subtracting, positive, negative integers. Okay. Oops, missed the E right there. Okay, adding, subtracting, positive, negative integers. Okay, so a few things. We'll talk a little bit about the math. Actually, let me turn this exposure up just a tiny bit. All right, so we got this exposure turned up. So you have adding and subtracting positive, negative integers. So we'll talk a little bit about adding and subtracting first. I don't really like calling it subtracting or adding. I like to call it the word combining. Okay. Combining typically means adding. Okay, so if you're going to be adding, the reason why we like to use adding in math as opposed to you say subtracting is because adding is what we call commutative, meaning you can flip it around. Okay, so I like to call this combining right here. Obviously, positive, negative integers. Positive is greater than 0. Negative is less than 0. Integers in math world is what we call counting numbers. So when you have it, you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Okay, but this rule that I'm about to show you is going to work for all of them, and it's kind of a good rule to use. I think a lot of people, even adults, they don't understand this rule right here, and it's a little trick that we came up with to kind of help students remember when you combine adding and subtracting positive integers. Okay, so before I do get started, let's say you have a regular problem like 10 plus negative 4. Okay, so obviously the answer is positive 6, but the thing that we wanted to do is that we like adding as opposed to subtracting. We don't really like subtracting because you can mess stuff up, but with adding or combining, I like to call it, it's commutative, so you can do whichever in any order. Okay, so your math teachers in the past might have been able to tell you this is going to be 6 right here. Okay, so your math teachers in the past probably have been able to tell you that every subtraction problem can be turned into an addition problem. So let's say if you had 10 minus 7, that's actually the same thing as 10 plus negative 7. Okay, the reason why we make students turn that into, and this is going to be 3, right? The reason why we make students do that is because we want them to kind of think of it as a combining term. Okay, now there's 2 rules when doing this, and this is a good practice for students right here. So what I like to call it is same sign sum. And sometimes if you're teaching to a lower level of students, you tend to kind of be a little bit liberal with the definitions of some of these, all right? And then the other one is going to be, so these are the important ones right here: different sign difference. Yeah. So that's kind of what I use right there. I don't really particularly like using sayings, but that's just what we do. Okay, so when you're doing your math and all that stuff like that, if you use same sign sum, that means that if the integers have the same sign, you sum them up and you keep the sign. So I'll put that in blue right there. So this was the keep sign, and this was sign of, I like to say, fight number. Okay, here the technical definition is the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. Okay, that's the math technical definition. I'll show you what I mean right here. Okay, so if you're with your kids or anything like this, this will work, and you can use this as many times as you want. We like to keep it as combining because it's commutative right here. Okay, so we'll write an example out like this. Okay, so let's say we have a big number, and we'll have like 44 minus 20. The answer is 24, okay? But here's kind of just to show you what the actual process is going through in your brain, okay? The answer is positive 24 to this problem right here. But what I'm going to have students do is that I'm going to have them change this to, you don't have to do it in this one. This one's not, because it's the bigger number is positive, okay? This would be 44 plus negative 20, okay? So here's how we do this. Since they have different signs, this is a plus 44 and this is a minus 20, you take the bigger sign of the fight number. Okay, this is why it says sign of the fight number right there. Okay, so when you do this, the fight, this is what you tell students. So if these two numbers, 44 and 20, got in a fight with each other, right, who would win? Obviously the 44, right? So the sign's going to be positive. Okay, but the technical definition, if you remember, is the greater absolute value, which is still 44. Okay, so now we're going to find the difference between these two numbers. So if you go like, if you set this out to the side, the numbers, the amount of numbers in between 20 and 44 is 24. So you say 44. I'm not going to write subtract. I'm going to write difference, okay, which is subtract, okay. So this is going to be 24, and then you take that over there, and you put 24 right there, okay, and then we circle it. Try to use the highlighter, make it look nice for your teachers, right? So that's how you would do that in a very, very easy rule, okay. We'll write another example out right here. Let's see. Let's make this up. Let's make it so the answer is going to be negative. So let's say we had like 17 subtract 50. Okay. So we don't like that because it's, you know, subtraction is associative, which means it has to go in a particular order. But if we change it to addition, we can make it commutative. Okay. So let's redo this one. Rewrite it as 17 plus negative 50. Okay. This is actually plus 17 right here. Okay. So when you use your sign that's written up here, you would identify this right here. We have different sign difference. They're going to be different, okay? So we're going to see, okay, the 17 and the 50, they get in a fight. They get in a fight. Who's going to win? The 50 is going to win, right? So we put the negative sign out first, all right? Then we want to find the difference between these numbers, okay? Now, when you do this, you can write the subtraction out, but it's basically 50 different 17, which is going to be 23. 33. Ooh, almost got that one wrong. 33 right there. So the answer is going to be minus 33. I hope so. I haven't even checked these yet. I just make these up as they go along, right? So that's kind of how you do that. So that would be two different sign differences. But the key part for you guys is that you're going to have to be able to change this to an addition problem, okay? These rules work right here because of the addition that we've changed it to. And that's kind of the point that we want to get to. When you get to more advanced math, that's kind of what you want to get your goal to be, okay? All right, let's go ahead and try. Let's make some up with the same sign sum, okay? So let's say we had like negative 27 subtract, whoops, got an email apparently. Oh, actually we'll do this. We'll go negative 27 plus negative 30, okay? So here's the thing. It's already set up in an addition problem already. So we have negative 27 and positive, or plus negative 30. So there's two signs. So we're going to use this rule right here, the same sign sum. Okay, we keep the sign of whatever it is, okay? So right here, the sign's going to be negative, so we'll keep that up. And we don't have to do the fight number because we're just going to sum these up. 30 sum 27 is going to be 57. So you take that number and you put it wherever your sign is at. So the answer is going to be 57 right here. Okay. So there's that right there. I'm going to go ahead and switch papers right now. So if you need to get a snapshot of that screen, now would be a good time to pause that. Let's go ahead and try to do a few more examples with you guys, and we'll do a same sign sum one, okay? Set this aside. All right, so we have we had two negatives. Obviously the positives. I didn't go over this because we would already have this. So if you had like 20 plus 35, right? This would be positive 20 plus positive 35, right? So if you keep the same sign, the sign would obviously be positive. You sum both of those numbers up, and that would be 55. Okay. So this is a good rule because it helps students remember that you can't just like, they have such a hard time with these, in particular with these right here. We're taking the same sign sum and different sign difference. Okay. So the main one for you guys to take away from all of this is that when you have the same, this is the two rules, so you should pause it and definitely keep these down right here. Okay. In general, we like to change everything into, and some teachers are different. They're okay with subtraction, you know, and that's fine too. But when you get to more advanced math, we kind of take subtraction out of it and kind of use combining is what we use for that one right there. Okay, so if everything's an addition problem, you can use these two rules right here, which is same sign sum. You keep the sign of both numbers because they're the same sign, right? And then you sum up the numbers. Okay. For different sign difference, when it's an addition problem, you keep the sign of the higher fight number. Okay, like if they got in a fight, and then so if it's positive or negative, you keep the sign of that, and then you find the difference, the amount of numbers in between. So like on this one right here, there's 24 numbers in between 20 and 44, which is why it's plus 24. And then this one right here, there's 33 numbers between 17 and 50, which is why we have negative, because the negative 51 right here. Okay. So other than that, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about that. If you like this, please like the video. And if you want to see more daily math videos, I try to keep them to 10-minute lessons, but I got many, many more lessons to help you guys out. So other than that, I've been Justin. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you. Goodbye. shut this off.